you turn on your camera via Zoom or Skype on the other line from the hiring committee, you're just another name on a long list of hopeful candidates for that teaching job. Ahead of you are 30 to 45 minutes of selling yourself, in which you should get the opportunity for you to change that reality. From the instant you first make eye contact, smile that confident smile. Lash down all those butterflies rumbling around in your stomach, and you get your chance to turn yourself into that standout, gotta hire candidate that is going to have everyone talking by the time you leave the Zoom or Skype meeting. You just have to figure out how to make that happen. Hello everyone, this is still your Pinay Teacher Annie sa America, spreading the love and good vibes to all aspiring J1 teachers out there. And if this is your first time to visit my channel, please don't forget to gracefully subscribe this channel and ring the bell for notifications. And on my YouTube live, well, yes, I'm actually doing my YouTube live every Saturday. That's 11 a.m. Manila time. I'm giving out schools that have job openings, and now my inbox is full because they're asking me of tips and suggestions on how to ace and rock their teaching interview. Well, I got you covered, guys. I got you. Don't you worry. Yes, because I want you. Yes, you. I want you to teach here. So I hope that these 10 tips will help you or will help your American dream come true. So your resume got you this far already. You have a degree and college transcript with all the right classes and all the right grades to get you in the door. But no one gets the job out from the basis of their resume. You are going to prove that you are the person who got all or who earned all those accolades, not just some paper tiger that's snuck in with polish and proofreading. So it's time to get your game face on, smile big, and apply these 10 tips to make sure you completely nail your interview for the job that's going to launch your teaching career. Number 1, always make it more about the students than yourself. A teaching interview is a big deal for you personally, yes, but for the principal and other folks on the other side of the table, it's really about the kids you are going to be working with. So you have to bullet point your best features, brainstorm some examples, and practice how you'll formulate your responses when these questions come up. Always draw from your real experiences in your personal or professional life, or even better, directly from your student teaching experiences. Number 2, like teaching, interviewing is all about knowing your audience. Guys, let's face it, you have no business at all in being in that room if you are not that sort of person who can get up and stand up in front of these people and command their attention. Listen closely and read the expression you see on those faces around the room. Don't be afraid to pause for a moment to collect your thoughts. And when you speak, speak boldly and without doubt. Your first class is this interview committee, so make the kind of first impression that they will not forget. Number 3, be modern, be savvy, but don't nerd out too much. So you're coming from maybe the most tech-savvy generation in the history of teaching. That's going to be the key because the next generation is coming up. The kids in your classroom are going to be even more tech-savvy than you. And a lot of people on the other side of that interview table are going to be from the last generation, and educational technology might still seem a little bit like black magic to them. So maybe they wrap their heads around brain pop back in the day, but when you start talking about TED Ed or Fluke references, well, you may have a little trouble connecting with your audience. Number four, go beyond the day to day and talk about big picture issues in education. Okay, come on, guys. Your classroom experiences and expertise are going to be your key to getting in the door. But administrators take the long view. They want to know if you have the kind of head on your shoulder to be worth a long-term investment in this position. So, you've been learning about major challenges and trends in the world of academia for 4 years or more now. So, it's time for you to trot out some of your thoughts about the state and the future of the profession. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? You had better believe you're going to be asked that question. So, your answer should show your thoughts, not just about your personal prospects, but about the state of the K to 12 education overall. It's not going to stay stuck in the mud for a decade. Trends like remote and differentiated learning, increasing attention to develop cultures of equality, and mandatory testing of state and federal standards tied to funding. You studied all of these in school. Now is your opportunity to show your potential future employers that you have thought them through and understand the impact they will have on your school and your career, and how you plan to adapt for the good of both the district and your students. Number five, be inspired, be inspiring. Guys, put yourself in the shoes of the interview committee. They've been sitting there for all day and sifting through a sea of resumes, asking the same questions of a parade of nearly identical candidates, getting almost the identical replies from the most of them. So you should have a story, have a few. Tell them what made teaching the only career for you and why that makes you someone who has a lot to offer. It's not too much about trying to convince the hiring committee that they need to hire you, as it is about telling your story in a way that's so compelling that they can't help but to come to that conclusion on their own. There is something personal in your story somewhere that will strike a chord with these veteran professionals. Dig it out, show it to them, and remind them why you are the best person and why you are the best candidate. Number six, plan for anything, but don't miss the basics. Come on, guys, let's be clear. Nobody who shows up 10 minutes late to the interview ever gets the job. It doesn't matter how smart you are, whether you can command the room, or if your lesson plans are letter perfect. You are always going to be the candidate who didn't get there on time. There were dozens of other people who did not mess up their interview or their appointment. So don't be that person. Dress professionally, conservatively, and comfortably. You do not want to be fixated on that color digging into your neck while you're trying to answer the questions. But you don't want to look like you just showed up after doing your weekly grocery run either. So on that day, even if you have timed your drive down to the minute, leave at least 30 minutes early anyway. You'll be cooler and more collected if you are early during your interview. Number seven, let your line shine naturally. Do not force it. Okay, guys, you did not decide to get into teaching job and go to your classroom and have a boring and miserable time every day. Guess what? Neither those people who will interview you. So keep it light and keep smiling. You want to be the bright spot in their day. Keeping it in the lanes of professionalism certainly doesn't mean playing it so safe that you come across as boring, as uninspired. So after all, many of the people you will be interviewing in front will eventually become your colleagues, and just in case you will land a job. So you want them to immediately get the sense of how awesome it will be working with you, a person who brings their A game every day as a team player with an effortless blend of teaching fundamentals, love, and self-confidence. Number 8, be honest. So you need to keep your answer short and sweet. Think about what traits or qualities you want to highlight in your answer, and generally share where you're from, a snippet of your family, a few hobbies, and something about why you love teaching. This let them see your personality and form a personal connection. Sometimes it's hard for people, even myself, to say good things about themselves. So be ready. What are your talents as a teacher? What makes you special? Think about things that the administration and other teachers on the team will value. Do not go on and on about ways that you sacrifice like time and money for students, but instead highlight their positive traits. Number 9, know the lingo and listen. So, what are the AYP goals? Who are Wiggins and Marzano? What are the rubrics? What should you know about proficiency-based modules? Brush up your terms and be ready to discuss them. Be familiarized of those terms like IEP, growth mindset, social emotional learning, 21st century program, ELL, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the No Child Left Behind Act, Title I, which is the federal funding provided to schools with high percentages of low-income students to help learners meet educational standards. The more you ask and listen, the fewer interview questions for teachers you'll have to answer. Plus, interested equals interesting. And most importantly, be confident in what you already know and your experiences prior. Preparing for any interview is mandatory, but don't try to over-rehearse your answers. Be yourself, or rather your best professional self, and you're sure to land the right teaching job for you. Number 10, do not be shy to ask questions. So there comes a moment near the end of your interview when it happens. Someone on the other side of the table smiles, look at the other members of the committee to see if they have any other questions for you. And when they don't, turns back to you and says, "So, do you have any questions for us?" Yes, you do. Learn about the district. Ask smart questions about it. Not the kind of basic demographic stuff you could just Google. Make your questions count. Use them to show you've done your homework enough to know the surface level stuff already. And you're ready to go a little deeper because you're serious and hopeful about the possibility of building your career and life around this very school and this very community. You should be well versed in recent happenings in the district, their state scores, or even non-academic stories like record of the school football team or recent theatrical productions. Don't make up any concerns just to show off your research, but don't be afraid to ask hard questions about things like labor negotiations, concerns with current curriculum or materials, or even financial matters that may be on the horizon. You want to show that you have standards too and aren't afraid to pursue them. In today's competitive job market, this better not be the only school system that you have an opportunity to interview with. So it's only natural to see this as your opportunity to interview them a little too. All right, so did you finish it up to the last minute of this video? Then for sure you will be hired soon. See you here, teachers, and I am really excited to see your comments. So please leave your comments when you get hired after watching this video. And that's all for today, folks. Thank you for watching my J1 Visa series, and please don't forget to like and share this video with your friends who also aspire to go here in the US. Let's dream together, let's soar high together, and conquer America together. See you again next time. Bye!